From Roger Dean Stadium here in Jupiter, Florida, spring training home of both the St. Louis Cardinals and Miami Marlins, this is 680 The Fan's continuing coverage of Atlanta Braves Spring Training 2019. Another beautiful day here in Florida. Take a look behind me. All is quiet for now, but in just a little while, it'll be the Braves and the Miami Marlins with Julio Teheran on the hill for Atlanta. Don't expect to see a lot of the regulars making the long 2.5-hour bus ride from Orlando. Most guys went over to Lakeland yesterday and are staying back at the complex at Disney to work out today. We will see Adam Duvall in the lineup. Ozzie Albies on the trip, as well as Tyler Flowers. We'll also see Austin Riley and some of the youngsters get a chance to get some playing time here today in Jupiter. Braves are back home tomorrow with the Pirates and another home game on Tuesday, so expect to see many of the regulars, including Freddie Freeman, Josh Donaldson, Ender Inciarte, Dansby Swanson as well, getting this probably 2 or 3 ABs over the next couple of days with those home games looming back at Disney. As I mentioned, Julio Teheran on the mound for the Braves today, and this is becoming a very interesting spring for Julio Teheran. You'll recall, up until a couple of weeks ago, we all thought that Mike Foltynewicz was pretty much in pen as the opening day starter, but he has been slowed with soreness in his elbow, and it just doesn't seem with the Braves breaking camp 2 weeks from today, he'll have enough time to be ramped up and ready to go for the start of the regular season. Braves haven't ruled that out as of yet, but with Sean Newcomb, with Julio Teheran, with Kevin Gausman, those 3 guys probably competing now for the opening day spot. And Julio Teheran's string of 5 consecutive opening day starts, maybe that won't come to an end after all. We will see how things play themselves out here over the next 2 weeks. Again, 2 weeks from today, Braves are in Northport at their new facility on the Gulf Coast of Florida, but still lots to get to between now and then. Hey, if you missed it yesterday, another big day for another young Braves outfielder. Cristian Pache, another home run. That gives him 2 in his last 2 games. Of course, he homered on Friday night against the Phillies back at Disney World, and a 2-run homer onto the berm at Joker Marchant Stadium for him yesterday in Lakeland. Pache really coming along. Of course, defensively, we've been really impressed with what we've seen from the glove. And talking to Braxton Davidson, who played with Pache in the Arizona Fall League this year, Braxton was playing first base. And he said, there were balls hit over my head to right center field. I thought there was no way anybody was going to track him down. And Pache makes it look easy. So defensively, one of the best gloves we've seen here in a long time. And that's saying something because Ronald Acuna Jr. Was that guy we were talking about not too long ago. But Pache is still just 20 years old. He's going to start out the season at Double-A. But if the Braves were to have an injury in their outfield, if someone was to miss some significant time, I would not necessarily rule out seeing Cristian in Atlanta maybe in the second half of the season, closer to August or September. But certainly adds a lot of intrigue to spring training next year about this time. We could be talking about Pache competing for a spot on the opening day roster. And what a defensive outfield, and really what an offensive outfield that would be as well, if you have Acuna, Inciarte, and Pache. Wow, the thoughts of that are certainly very, very exciting for Braves fans. Really 3 legitimate Gold Glove contenders in the outfield as well. So Pache still 20 years old, but coming along strong, and I have really been impressed with the bat. If you remember this time last year, Pache never hit a home run in his professional career. And then he hit 2 off of Sean Newcomb in the Future Stars game back at SunTrust Park, and had a really nice season last year. He has come a long, long way over the last calendar year, and it's been a lot of fun to watch Pache's development right in front of our eyes here in Grapefruit League play. So again, he'll start out at Double-A, but Brian Snitker saying, once you get to Double-A, you're in play, and you're only a phone call away, so stay ready. And that will be the message to a lot of the young guys, whether they make the opening day roster, whether they're right on the cusp, or guys that start out at Double and Triple-A. The Braves have not been shy about bringing guys up, especially early in the season. So that could be the message to a lot of guys here as camp wraps up. Again, 2 weeks from today, Braves will play in Northport, then turn things north. A couple of games against the Cincinnati Reds at SunTrust Park, and then it's off to Philadelphia for the start of the regular season, where hopefully it's this warm. I'm betting it will not be, though. 80-something degrees here in Jupiter, Florida. Julio Teheran on the mound for the Braves. Looking back to his Grapefruit League debut 5 days ago, fastball was really good. You know, he was sitting in the low 90s, which is where you expect, 91, 92, but we saw some 93s and 94s, and the slider looked really, really good. For his first time out in game speed action for the new year, I was really encouraged by what we saw. Again, I got a chance to sit right behind the Braves dugout with my son Max, who was in awe of how close he was to the field, but I had a chance to sit right behind the dugout, and the action on that slider from Julio Teheran looked really, really good. So we'll keep a close eye on that here today as he takes the mound against the Miami Marlins. Again, it is a 1 o'clock first pitch on the Braves Radio Network. Jim Powell and Joe Simpson will have the call, so hopefully you can join the guys as they bring you the Braves and the Marlins here from Jupiter, Florida. Roger Dean Stadium is where we're coming to you from today. And again, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 680 The Fan for our coverage of Brave spring training, and of course right here on 680thefan.com.